Okay.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Herold here on Badlands Media. I'm your host, Jon Herold. Happy Halloween. You guys in the chat going trick-or-treating tonight? I'm going to be going for a little bit, I think. I mean, I guess I know. I don't have my kids this week, but they're coming here. We'll go in this neighborhood. Maybe we'll go wherever they're, I don't know. But I do have my mask. This is what I'm dressing up as for Halloween. This scary clown thing. Maybe wear that tonight on OnlyLens. We'll see. I know a few other people are dressing up. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Couple news stories, couple interesting ones in terms of shenanigans that the previous administration was up to. This Arctic frost investigation is becoming a little more interesting with some of the things that Kash Patel has uncovered. You know, a lot of it, I think, as I said yesterday, it wasn't really intriguing me all that much because it was focused on the Devo term, you know, when Biden was in office. And I'm looking at stuff, you know, I want to see stuff from Trump's first term. And we got something today that I think fits that bill. So we'll go through that. We'll go through some other things as well. Some shutdown shenanigans, some nuclear options related to the shutdown shenanigans. We'll see what happens. But before we do any of that, we should probably get a quick word from a couple of our sponsors. And let's start it off with some Benson Honey Farms. And prayers to Mo and her family. As I've been saying, she's been in California recovering from an illness, a situation that almost killed her. And like, that's no joke. Her and her family are going through it right now. But Benson Honey Farms, guys, they're one of our OG sponsors. Every jar from Benson is pure gold. Benson Honey is excited to be back on Badlands Media with their latest 2025 honey harvest straight from their farm in Nebraska. While they've been busy working to improve our state politics from the ground up, they never forgot the importance of sharing the best honey around. Did you know honey isn't just a sweet treat? It's nature's medicine, perfect for alleviating allergies, soothing upset stomachs, or as a delicious natural sweetener for baking. Benson Honey is never heated, ensuring you receive it in its pure, raw form, full of natural goodness. At Benson Honey Farms, quality and purity is top priority, and they're committed to providing the finest honey from hive to home. Join the supportive community and enjoy a special offer. Visit badlandsmedia.tv/honey and use promo code BADLANDS for 15% off your purchase. Benson Honey Farms, savor the authentic taste of Nebraska. Support America's first business. Support an America first business. I don't think Benson Honey Farms was America's first business, but they are an America first business. Follow them on Facebook as well at Benson Honey Farms. We also got Jessica's product. Jessica back in support here at Badlands. Key cog in the machine over here. She's got All Good. And these are some fantastic products. Actually, you know, I personally cannot attest to the fantasticness of these products because I don't use them. Like, you know, I don't, in my hair, I don't need the hair stuff. I just use a little gel, stuff like that. But I can say all the females that I know of that have used these products love them. So make self-care great again with All Good by Jessica Storm. This holiday season, treat your hair to All Good's best seller, the Tallow Hair Mask. Deep hydration, zero junk, just simple organic ingredients with purpose. While you're shopping, grab the new drops, Tallow Beard Balm. I guess I could probably use that one. Tames Wild Whiskers without the grease. Yeah, I'm hoping that one's not specifically geared towards women. Tamed Hair Serum, frizz-free shine in one drop. And Whipped Tallow, light, fluffy, and available in 3 subtle scents that you'll love. All handcrafted in small batches from Clearwater, Florida, and delivered to you in glass jars, so it's all good inside and out. No toxins, no parabens, no sulfates, no BPAs, no PFAs, and no BS. Head on over to badlandsmedia.tv/allgood and use promo code BADLANDS to snag your discount and support Badlands Media in the process. badlandsmedia.tv/allgood. Do they still make mousse, Sarge Sparky? I don't use mousse. I don't know if they still make it. I'm assuming they do. Hold on. I am okay. I was trying to see what's going on in the chat here. CC's divulging. See, good afternoon, good day to you, Patel Patriot. Something about. Oh yeah. So the other day, my kids stopped by. I don't remember why they're picking up like school stuff that they left here. And I had the mask, and I like wore it. I like stood in the doorway behind the screen door, wearing it, and whatever, freaked them out. But not really. They saw me from the driveway. I didn't like jump scare 'em or anything. But anyway, when they got inside, my daughter, I told her to go wear the mask and try to scare my girlfriend, but apparently she overheard it. Need to be a little more discreet with my planning. What is moose? I don't know what moose even is in terms of hair stuff. I know it's the animal, but I don't know what it is when it comes to hair stuff. I've never actually used it. Anyway, let's start plugging away, guys. We got no update on the Doge website. No update. Well, actually, no, I lied. We do have one update on the presidential website. This is new. He has nominated Michael Selig of Florida to be chairman of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. And then hold on, Michael Selig, vice chairman of Rostin Baham. And then, okay, well, he's nominating the same guy twice. And then he withdrawed Joel Rayburn as Assistant Secretary of State. No idea who either of those guys are. Shutdown rages on, almost to 31 days, breaking that record. Trump is going to have a record-breaking presidency, even if it's just a shutdown that happens. Actually, I got a text from my mom putting something about the shutdown in perspective a little bit, something I hadn't thought about. So my mom, she works with people with disabilities, and I used to work with kids with disabilities. I used to be a youth mentor, and some of those people rely on government money, and that's one of the side effects I hadn't thought of the shutdown. Like right now, I think they're getting their money, but starting November 1st, some of that stuff might go away, and I'm not a fan of that. But this is where it comes to like, one, it should be states should be supporting the citizens in that level. It shouldn't be a federal level thing. And it's like we've given what, 150, $200 billion to Ukraine, and now we're like scrambling to try to find money for certain programs. Could have used that $200 billion to fund programs like that right now, you know? So while I still believe I want the shutdown to continue forever, one of the groups of people that I'm a little more empathetic to than people who work for the government are people like that with disabilities. I have a couple relatives, and everybody probably knows at least one liberal with a mental disability. So yeah, that's tough. So I haven't really thought that through. I was texting Arthur a little bit about that this morning. But anyway, let's talk about kind of where we're at with the shutdown situation. Trump had a super long True Social post coming back from Asia, and I think we should read through it and discuss a little bit. Nurse Betty, special ed or mentally disabled should still get SSDI. You might be right. Watch that get resolved. I hope it does. That might. I've been trying to think about it. Like that might be the only subset of the population that I'm okay with government support, you know, even though I still think private sector would probably do a better job, definitely do a better job. That's one of those issues. It just hits a little bit more close to home. But I mean, I don't know. I know it's tough because even when something hits closer to home, it's harder to be unbiased, and so you're not thinking logically about the actual argument or the principles of the situation. And I don't want to do that either. But I don't know. I do like the shutdown. I want it to continue. But I finally found, and it took my mother to do it. It finally found one group I can be empathetic towards that could potentially be affected. We'll see what happens. So thank you, Mom. Throwing me completely off my game. Donald Trump on Truth Social. I just got back from Asia, where I met the leaders of many countries, including China, Japan, South Korea, Malaysia, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Singapore, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, and others. It was a great honor to meet them, but more particularly, to see that America is respected again, respected like never before. Great trade deals were made, long-term relationships now exist, and money is pouring into our country because of tariffs and, frankly, the landslide results of the 2024 presidential election. The one question that kept coming up, however, was how did the Democrats shut down the United States of America? And why did the powerful Republicans allow them to do it? The fact is, in flying back, I thought a great deal about that question. Why? Before I continue, I just want to see what else the chat is saying. Miss A. Watley, what's going on with Rumble? I just got my notification for Daily Herold 10 minutes late. Yeah, they're updating some stuff. I think they fixed the chat issue. At least they texted me and told me they did. Bravest, that's the plan. They got to make the optics as bad as possible. The truly elderly that need help should get it also. Yeah, I mean, homeless, veterans especially, there's just, I'd have a much more accepting perspective of our tax dollars being used if it was for actually like benefiting American citizens. Like none of these illegal immigrants, none of this foreign shit, like just American citizens with disabilities, the elderly, whatever. But I do still think it should be mostly a state thing. Smaller federal government, the state should be able to handle a lot of this stuff. Lurking in the comments. What's up, John? What's up, Jay? Hold away. I think this is my mom right here, Patriot Mama ND. The shutdown is good and it will be okay. This is actually a good point. It weeds out those who don't need it, and maybe it will make the government think about who actually needs these benefits. I doubt the government will actually think of anything. They don't actually care about anybody but themselves, but I agree. RT Joan, I heard cabinet members going to military bases due to threats. 10 days of darkness soon. I've heard that too. Maybe we'll talk about that here if I remember at the end. Call sign Kuja, good to see, man. Why don't we fund the damn EBT shit with all the tariffs we're bringing in? I'm not a big fan of the EBT program though either. I mean, I'm sure there are some people who genuinely need it, but if there's programs that are being like just massively abused, I think we gotta shut it down and start over. It's a sifting fixed bayonet. Yeah, you guys are on top of it. You chatters are great. But let's keep going here. Let's get Trump's perspective on why he thinks the Democrats shut it down and the Republicans allowed it. Majority Leader John Thune and Speaker of the House Mike Johnson are doing a great job, but the Democrats are crazed lunatics that have lost all sense of wisdom and reality. It is a sick form of the now legendary Trump derangement syndrome, TDS, that only comes from losing too much. They want trillions of dollars to be taken from our healthcare system and given to others who are not deserving. People who have come into our country illegally, many from prisons and mental institutions. This will hurt American citizens, and Republicans will not let it happen. It is now time for the Republicans to play their Trump card. Ooh, Trump card, I like that. And go for what is called the nuclear option. Nuclear. I know I say that wrong. I don't care. I'm going to keep saying it. Whichever way upsets you guys the most, I'll keep saying it that way. Get rid of the filibuster and get rid of it now. Just a short while ago, the Democrats, while in power, fought for 3 years to do this, but were unable to pull it off because of Senators Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona. Never have the Democrats fought so hard to do something because they knew the tremendous strength that terminating the filibuster would give them. They want to substantially expand, pack, the United States Supreme Court, make Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico states, thereby automatically picking up 4 Senate seats, many House seats, and at least 8 electoral votes, and many other highly destructive things. Well, now we are in power, and if we did what we should be doing, it would immediately end this ridiculous country-destroying shutdown. This is the thing, man. I don't think it's really destroying our country, as much as you like to say it. He's playing some some narrative games here, some psyops at play. If the Democrats ever came back into power, which, let's be real, guys, that should never happen as long as we fix our elections, which would be made easier for them if the Republicans are not using the great strength and policies made available to us by ending the filibuster. Democrats will exercise their rights, and it will be done in the first day they take office, regardless of whether or not we do it. In addition to all the other things we could get, or we would get, such as the best judges, the best attorneys, the best everything, this was a concept from years ago of then President Barack Hussein Obama and former Majority Leader Harry Reid in order to take advantage of the Republicans. Now I want to do it in order to take advantage of the Democrats. And it goes on. Because of the fact that the Democrats have gone stone cold crazy, the choice is clear. Initiate the nuclear option and get rid of the filibuster and make America great again. I mean, this is my concern here. If we don't do something now to fix our elections, to implement Trump's policy, whatever, like I don't care about the shutdown aspect of this, like I don't care if we end the shutdown really at all. Again, empathetic to certain people. That's not my concern. My concern is the midterms, and I know it's a long ways away, and I'm not going to worry about, who the best candidates are or all those things or whatever. But if we don't fix our elections, I think we do risk losing the majority that we have, the slim majority that we have. And then what happens? What if the Democrats take over control like they did in 2018 and do a whole bunch of BS? I do think, I'm not relying on the beneficiaries of our fraudulent election system to fix our fraudulent election system. I don't know what the solution is. And so saying that, understanding there's bigger things at play than we are aware of, maybe everything is going according to what Trump thinks it should. But if we do lose those seats or whatever, if Scott Presler doesn't register enough voters in Philadelphia, wherever he's registering voters at right now, what if we lose the majority and totally stonewall any progress we've made? But it is interesting. It's not the first time Trump has called for ending the filibuster. There's a few interesting ones. Let's see here. Congratulations to Senator Joe Manchin for not endorsing radical Kamala Harris because of her death wish for the filibuster and the rule of law. Let's see what else. So now the Democrats are working to gain control of the U.S. Senate through their actions on John James, David Perdue, and more. Would end the filibuster. Didn't they win that stuff? They won Perdue and them. This is after the election. Gosh, that gives me a little PTSD. Radical Democrats will destroy America forever by abolishing filibuster, opening borders, all these things. It's like in the past, I don't know. The House GOP must now address it via a new Judiciary Act. The Senate GOP must begin to use the filibuster to stop the takeover of the federal judiciary. So it's like, okay, we've been against the filibuster or abolishing or destroying the filibuster, and we've been pro filibuster when the Democrats are in power. But now that we're, our side, the red team is in control. Now let's get rid of the filibuster. That's a little, I don't know. I don't love that. If it's something like that where this one thing, like the power of this one tool stops the party in control, and so whoever's in control wants to get rid of the filibuster so that they can just like take over and control the government. Like, is it really, the process itself must be broken in some fashion? Because if like right now it's great. Let's get Trump and team and all the red team in there and end the filibuster and put through all the things we need. But if we don't fix our election system, if we don't use this to fix our election system, what happens 10 years from now? What happens 4 years from now? What happens 12? Like at some point, it's going to be abused. If we don't fix our election system, at some point, the regime is going to get back in control, and they are going to pick up right where they left off and keep ruining shit. You change your phone number, and then you call who you need. I want to call it the filibuster. What is the point of filibuster anyway? Just remove all Dems from politics. Georgia Nana 17 is late, and she missed the best 19 minutes of Badlands ever. I would agree. Let's listen to, who do I got here? I think it's Mike Johnson. He's not talking about his package, unfortunately, but he is talking about the filibuster and why he's opposed to the nuclear option that Trump wants them to do.
For Senate Republicans to blow up the filibuster in order to get the continuing resolution passed. I know in the past you've been reluctant to encourage your Senate colleagues to do that or not. Are you aligned with the president now that it's time for him to take this dramatic step to reopen the government?
I haven't. The president's been very busy. He was in, Asia doing all these trade agreements. I've been a little busy, as you know. We haven't spoken since he returned. I sent him a text earlier this morning. I saw that as well. What you're seeing is an expression of the president's anger at the situation. He is as angry as I am and the American people are about this madness. And he just desperately wants the government to be reopened so that all these resources can flow to the people who need it so much. Look, I'll just say this in general. As I've said many times about the filibuster, it's not my call. I don't have a say in this. It's a Senate chamber issue. We don't have that in the House, as you know. But the filibuster has traditionally been viewed as a very important safeguard. If the shoe was on the other foot, I don't think our team would like it. The Democrats, look, they've said what they would do. They would pack the Supreme Court. They would make Puerto Rico and D.C. states. They would ban firearms. They would do all sorts of things that would be very harmful for the country. And the safeguard in the Senate has always been the filibuster. But again, not my issue, not something I get to even weigh in on. My opinion on this is not relevant. It's the senators. But I think that it just is another expression of the frustration, of the pressure that is being felt, the anger by the president and by me and all of us that we're in this situation at all. Do your basic job. I'm going to say this again. We have put zero Republican policy priorities on the CR. It is Biden level policies and spending. They have no excuse at all not to support it. They have no excuse to put all this pain on the American people, except that for what we've just articulated and repeated here every day, they want to give a showing to the radical left fringes of their base, and they want to give illegal benefits or benefits back to illegal aliens and non-citizens and all the other crazy stuff that they've claimed. Yeah.
Can I respond?
Sure.
I just very quickly, I have not spoken to the president either since last night, but let me say this. He is, and I've been next to him for almost 9 or 10 years now. He is so resolutely focused on delivering for the American people all day, every day, 7 days a week, 20 hours a day. This is what he is thinking about. And as the world's greatest deal maker, from his perspective, the way he thinks out of the box as a businessman is how do we end this nonsense? And how do we, again, open the government? And how do we support these families that need support?
Yeah.
There you go. Mike Johnson is not in favor of the filibuster. I think it's stupid. This whole back and forth. This is like more the political drama stuff. And the longer they can keep this up, the uniparty with the back and forth, the stalling, and not actually getting any of Trump's agenda done, the better it is for the regime and the uniparty. Because once Trump starts like actually implementing aspects of his plan that do start benefiting Americans, and I think the groundwork is being laid. I'm not going to argue that. But one of the panels that I want to do at GART, because I'm finalizing some of that stuff, is like a year in review, because it's going to be 1 year since Trump was elected. And I want to go through like some of the Agenda 47 items that we were promised, and some of like where are we actually at right now in terms of, it's the stuff we've talked about. Where are we actually at in terms of like the improvement on things in the country? Not just what we're told, and not just that we're excited that our team is in there right now and our team is in control, but is our team actually executing on behalf of us? And I don't think they are. I'm not putting that on Trump. I'm putting that on like the political establishment as a whole. It's the whole thing is like a stall tactic, especially with Trump in office. They want to outlive him. That's their survival at stake here. If they can survive Trump this term, then they'll figure out a way to get back to business as usual as quickly as possible on the flip side of him. And that's why they're so concerned about this 2028. Is Trump going to run again? They keep asking about it. They want to make sure they get him on record saying he can't. Well, like all these things, like they are trying to precede everybody's mind with the idea that, yeah, Trump can't do it again, though. Even though some people are talking about it, he can't do it again. That's not in the Constitution. It's about survival and the shutdown and the politics and like ending the filibuster right now while Republicans are in control. Yeah, it'd be great for implementing Trump's agenda. It would be. If we don't fix our elections with it, then I don't like it, because eventually the Democrats will get back in there. The regime will get back in control, and they will use it to destroy us. So it's a handle with care type thing. But if you fix our elections and you can actually have a government where the people are in control of their government, like the elected officials are actually held accountable by the people who actually elect them, that's a different story. And that's a reality I don't even know if we can fully comprehend what that even means, because we've never had it before. We talk about it all the time at Badlands about how, you know, we're living in a post-constitutional republic or whatever. Like our constitution was subverted a long time ago. And nobody alive today understands what it actually feels like to live in a country with elected representatives that are actually elected by their citizens and held accountable by them at the same time. We have fraudulent elections. We have fraudulent government. Like these people are illegitimate, and they've been illegitimate for a long time. And they've been doing illegitimate things for a long time. We don't even know there's nobody that has an actual perspective of what it might be like for that to be fixed. And I think is what Trump is trying to work towards. And what we're seeing play out right now is just, it's a soap opera. Trump wants him to do the thing. Republicans are afraid of doing the thing because the thing could be bad. But let's just keep the government shut down as long as possible. Stall. Ballsy, yes. Plus, they could add consecutive terms to the 22nd. There you go. That is another way to get a third term. Ballsy 41. Only way I see a Trump third term is to deem and prove the 2020 election was stolen, and Trump is given that term. And see, I do think we're going to address the 2020 election at some point. We'd have to. I don't think there's going to be like a method that's like, okay, well, you know, we will. What body is going to bestow upon Trump a third term because the second one was stolen from him? You know, I don't think there's a body that's going to do that. There was a lot of talk right after 2020 about there not being like there's no constitutional pathway for Trump to get back in there after Biden was inaugurated. It's just not possible. And Trump, you know, my favorite truth post of his of all time is the unprecedented fraud requires unprecedented cure. I think Bannon's over the target, though. This is something we've talked about on this last Saturday's Power Hour. The Constitution is for us. It's our document. I mean, it's been subverted, and we don't recognize our power or control or authority anymore. But if we want Trump in there for another term, or another 2 terms, or 3 terms, whatever, then we get him. Shouldn't matter. There shouldn't be a rule that says he can't run again. That amendment is bogus. At some point, I think that will be addressed. Hopefully, we'll see. We shall see what happens. Polymathodon, John, 100%. They can bestow these nuts. Yeah. I believe that the attorneys have some kind of deal worked out with the government. Ratified the amendment preventing him has never been tested, may not have been ratified properly. It was not originally included by founders for a reason. It's anti-democratic. Yep. Yeah, I think Bannon's over the target, as he usually is. A couple of rants here. I'll read up. Ballsy 41. The Shipwreck Show made it to Reddit conspiracy sub. What? Hold on. Oh, no way. She's on Reddit. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene suggests Americans could exercise their collective power through a mass refusal to pay taxes, calling it direct form of protest. A freaking men. She's right. Crazy. Yeah, check that out, guys. Thanks for sharing. I'll share that with Shipwreck so she knows. She probably already does know. And then Walberg Forge, thanks for doing this every day, John, and everyone at Badlands. Thank you, guys. We wouldn't do it if it wasn't for you showing up and supporting all day, every day. You guys are great. But let's continue. Where am I at? This was another post this morning. As I said, for years, Obamacare is a disaster. Rates are going through the roof for really bad health care. Do something, Democrats. And then there's this story from Politico. Democrats plot messaging blitz ahead of Obamacare hikes. On November 1st, which would be tomorrow, millions of Americans can begin to purchase more expensive Affordable Care Act insurance. Wisconsin Democrats are launching nearly 400 canvassing events this weekend focused on healthcare. Blah, blah, blah. November 1st is a healthcare cliff for the American people, and I think it's also a political cliff for Republicans. Democrats are launching a bunch of ad buys. Higher premium, blah, blah, blah. There's another article I think I wanted to cover here. I think this is the one. Republicans quickly push back on Trump's call to nix the filibuster. So we heard from Mike Johnson. Thune also responded. I want to see where here, but many GOP senators have vocally defended the filibuster, including Majority Leader John Thune, calling the 60-vote rule a fundamental feature of the Senate and one that works to conservatives' benefit in the long run. Thune has defended the filibuster multiple times during the shutdown, calling it a bad idea to suggest eliminating it. 60-vote threshold has protected this country, he said earlier this month. Our perspective is it's protected our country when the Democrats have been in control, and their perspective is it's protecting the country with the Republicans in control. Goes both ways. But okay, let's go to this story. This is the one I said that was pretty interesting. I think I have a clip here I can play. Yeah, let's do this. It's from Patriots Are in Control over on Twitter. And this is the 2020, another 2020 election plot that was uncovered in this Arctic frost investigation. Take a listen.
Yeah, just think about the story I broke this morning. 4 years after Crossfire Hurricane and the October surprise of trying to drop a fake Russia story into.
And you know what? I think let me switch to this video. I think this one's a little longer and gives a little more. We're not going to listen to the whole thing, but we're going to listen to a little bit of it. This is Bannon and John Solomon. I think they're talking about this in a little more detail.
Jim Jordan over the House is going absolutely ballistic on this. I think this is the biggest scandal I've ever seen in American political history. Your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I think we're getting there. I think this could be one of the greatest civil liberty violations in American history under the color of government authority. You've got a predicate that's open that, according to the FBI agents I showed to experts, prosecutors, it doesn't meet the standard. It's basically there's no evidence. The evidence is, oh, Steve, you were on CNN. That was the evidence for literally opening the investigation. They're trying to criminalize in this memo when they open it up in April of 2022, 15 months after January 6th, and just 4 days after Donald Trump has announced he's going to run for re-election. And I think that's really important. This investigation, if you thought what happened on January 6th with the electors was bad, you could have done it on the 7th or the 8th or 9th of 2021. They wait a whole year until Donald Trump raises his hand and says, I'm getting back in the arena. I'm running for 2024. And they open up an electronic communication that every expert I talk to says is thin, doesn't meet the rules. Then they try to say the crime is by some people offering alternate electors to the Senate. That is a criminal conspiracy. Now, if you're going to do that.
So he's given the context of the Arctic frost here. I thought that was a different clip. And Richard Rohr in the chat, Jim Jordan will be issuing a sternly worded letter to follow. I don't want to listen through the rest of that. I'm going to go back to the shorter clip here because this is where he's talking about what they uncovered. And this relates to pre-Biden term, Devo term, pre-Devo term. They uncovered something in there. It was a separate October surprise that they were trying to unleash on Trump with another phony, fake, stupid investigation. And then also there's a great comment in the chat from CN Stewart. How many red Octobers have come and gone? Lots. But anyway, take a listen.
Just think about the story I broke this morning. 4 years after crossfire hurricane and the October surprise of trying to drop a fake Russia story into Americans' laps before they voted for Donald Trump, the FBI was at it again. After all that was learned, after all the hearings, after all the letters written by angry senators and chairmen, the FBI felt absolute impunity to do this again. 2 weeks before the election, there is an FBI team in the Washington field office where a lot of this stuff starts. By the way, this isn't Arctic frost. This is pre-Arctic frost. Post-crossfire hurricane, pre-Arctic frost. Someone's sitting in the FBI thinking it's a good job, good idea, 2 weeks before Election Day to go through all of Donald Trump's campaign finances and see if I can find something I can hang a criminal investigation on. And their idea that they actually issue an official bulletin on, an intelligence bulletin, is, hey, I looked at this money, Donald Trump pays his vendors, the vendors pay their people, and one of the people who got paid goes out and gambles. That could be criminal. All right, how is getting a paycheck and using it for gambling criminal? But that's what they're doing. And then they have to admit that this is pretty lousy investigative work, so they put it at low confidence level that that this is probably a true crime. And then they recommend, let's go investigate anyways. Go take the steps to get this to be a criminal investigation against Donald Trump. Now, you're not doing that 2 weeks before an election because it just showed up on your deck. Someone is driving this for political purposes. That's what it looks like when you look at these documents.
So you guys catch that? This is the details of the story here. They've unearthed another October surprise FBI plot targeting Trump before an election. The explosive Arctic frost investigation documents that FBI Director Kash Patel dispatched to Congress include a revelation of another October surprise where the Bureau tried to put its law enforcement thumb on an election scale against Donald Trump. And again, coming pre-election, post-crossfire hurricane, it's interesting that it falls within this Arctic frost investigation, which started April of 2022. I don't know how this got included in the documents, but anyway, a memo buried in the middle of the 235-page evidence production that Patel sent the House Judiciary Committee this week chronicles how the FBI's Washington field office rifled through financial records and campaign expenditure reports, producing a tactical intelligence report trying to link payments between Trump's re-election campaign and a vendor named American-Made Media Consultants to possible casino gambling. In short, the FBI agents believed an employee of the campaign went gambling at a casino after AMMC got money for campaign work. Not exactly the crime of the century. Remarkably, the bulletin was produced on October 21st, 2020, just 2 weeks before the election day when Trump lost to Joe Biden, and it recommended taking further actions toward opening a predicated investigation into federal election crimes, even though it admitted its assessments that a crime occurred were even though it admitted its assessments that a crime occurred were with low confidence. I feel like there's something missing there. In its assessments? Yeah, they're missing the word in. FBI Washington field office assesses the use of AMMC as a clearinghouse for Trump campaign spending is likely vulnerable to campaign finance crimes by campaign-connected sub-vendors. And they actually have the intelligence report here. It's 8 pages. I did read through this, and it's pretty stupid. It really is. They're like, yeah, this is a vendor. They use it as a clearinghouse. They got a bunch of money, and this is how much this guy was paid. So much this guy was paid. They went gambling. And they like go on to list like the total amount of money that went to the organization, but it doesn't say how much money, or it doesn't connect any of that money being used for gambling. They could try to make a corrupt thing. So again, they didn't end up dropping this October surprise, but this shows more motive. And this is also connected to the Rico Grande investigation for sure. The Arctic frost clearly is. All this stuff is. Everything they're going through and exposing and disclosing to the American public about the shenanigans that took place from the intelligence community and the left, the Biden administration, everybody connected there, the establishment, deep state, whatever you want to call it. All of these crimes are going to fall under that Rico Grande. And we're just getting the story ahead of time. People are going to start piecing this stuff together. Maybe that'll be us, Badlands. I mean, people already are. John Solomon's doing a great job. But when they eventually come out with the full scale and scope of the Rico Grande, it's going to be a pretty convoluted, confusing, specific story to tell. Broad scale, broad strokes won't be that hard. But I think that's why they're putting out these subtle stories along the way. It's preceding and preparing most of us, especially. Because I think the normie mind, like normie people probably don't care about this stuff. But for us, we're ready to go. We're hot and bothered. We're ready. We're ready for the crimes to be unleashed. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. They didn't end up using it, but they had it ready. And then instead, if you think 2020, I wonder what the timing on this was. Okay, October. Oh, I think I might be onto something here. October 21st of 2020. Let's Hunter Biden laptop 2020 story. When did this come out? Let's look at this quick. October 2020 was also the Hunter Biden laptop controversy. Okay, what was the specific date of the post? 3 weeks before the 2020 election, the New York Post published a front page story that presented emails from the laptop alleging they showed corruption by Joe Biden, the Democrat presidential nominee and Hunter Biden's father. So that story was October 14th. October 14th. Crazy. And then October 19th is when the 51 intelligence agents signed that letter. And then freaking 2 days after that is they're looking for another counter October surprise. The stupid campaign finance thing from the FBI. That's ridiculous. I wonder if anybody's put that together at the timing of that. Unbelievable. Yeah, Rise of Tire. The Hunter Biden laptop was not a controversy. It was a crime, a bunch of crimes. I'm talking in terms of narrative play with the media leading up to the election. However, they got that story. I think it was through Rudy Giuliani, through to the New York Post, and the laptop getting dropped off. We've had debates about that many times. Could be a cover story. Could be that Hunter Biden actually did drop it off at the Mac store. I don't know. It could be that they got it from another source. I don't know. And we may never know. We may never get the truth on it. But whatever happened, the New York Post drops the story October 14th. The Hunter Biden laptop story, all the corruption and everything on the laptop. And if you haven't checked out Marco Polo and their report, it's fantastic. I've gone through 80% of those emails. A lot of crimes on there. I've done some digs on it too. October 14th, laptop story breaks. Censorship all over social media, all the things. The regime, the establishment goes all in against that story. And then Antony Blinken from Biden campaign reaches out to Mike Morrell and all those people, and they coordinate getting Brennan and Clapper and all these people to sign the 51 intelligence agents letter, which comes out on October 19th. Those are former intelligence people. And then October 21st is when the FBI is trying to figure out their own counter, but they never ended up going with it. That's just fascinating timeline. Fascinating timeline. Anyway, I think that might be the last I got from that story. So we'll keep plugging it. What time is it? Oh man, I'm not even halfway through my browser yet. Tabs. So we're gonna have to pick up the pace a little bit. 3-star general departs Pentagon amid reported tensions with Trump administration. Lieutenant General Joe McGee, director for strategy, plans, and policy on the Joint Staff, left his Pentagon post earlier this month following months of reported disagreements with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Joint Chiefs Chairman Dan Kane. McGee was a Biden appointee or nominee. He often clashed with leadership over issues including Russia and U.S. military operations in the Caribbean. The military has not commented on the reported tensions. So bye-bye, Joe Biden appointee. Justice Department probes Black Lives Matter donations. They are investigating whether leaders of the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation and other affiliated Black-led organizations misused tens of millions of dollars in donations raised during the 2020 racial justice protests. According to multiple sources cited by the Associated Press, federal officials recently issued subpoenas and at least one search warrant as part of the inquiry. Sources said the investigation began under the Biden administration but has received renewed attention under the Trump administration. The BLM Foundation reported taking in over $90 million in donations. That's insane. Following George Floyd's murder, critics have accused the nonprofit of lacking transparency. The concern intensified after the foundation confirmed in 2022 that some of the funds were used to purchase a $6 million Los Angeles area property. We've been talking about the Black Lives Matter leadership and their corrupt use of funds for a while now. Tracing the net. Well, shucks, almost missed the whole damn show. Yeah, and this is probably the best show I've ever done. So I feel sorry for you. I really do. But the Black Lives Matter stuff, I mean, I was kind of expecting this at some point. I think we all were. They're going after Antifa, right? that's connected to Black Lives Matter. And this is there's so many 501c3s that are just, I don't know, corrupted nature. Not all of them are, but not a huge fan. It was actually very early on in Badlands. I started it, LLC'd it in Wyoming, not North Dakota, for those people trying to say that we're owned by Doug Burgum and Bill Gates. LLC'd this in Wyoming. Shortly thereafter, some of the people who happen to no longer be in Badlands were making like a strong push trying to get us to 501c3. And I was like, I don't like that. It feels silly. It feels weird. And we always do these digs on like corrupt 501c3s, and it just felt like a trap. Felt like a setup. But yeah, Black Lives Matter under a microscope. I think that's going to tie into the Rico Graham investigation too. If the Rico Graham investigation actually tackles what happened on 2020, the 2020 election, like we think it will, then definitely Black Lives Matter, all those NGOs that were connected to the election theft, the Time magazine article from February 1st of 2021, basically admitting to the crimes, the admission article, everything in there is going to be, is fair game. Oh man, I missed this. Oops. Siri thought I was asking her about what is fair game. I should have looked at this earlier about the nuclear option. Already covered that. Colorado is suing the Trump administration over Space Command move to Alabama. Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser filed a federal lawsuit Wednesday challenging President Trump's decision to relocate U.S. Space Command headquarters from Colorado Springs to Huntsville, Alabama, arguing the move amounts to unconstitutional retaliation against Colorado's mail-in voting system. The lawsuit filed in U.S. District Court for Colorado seeks to block the transfer and obtain a judicial declaration that the president's decisions violates constitutional limits on executive power. Weiser said the action was necessary to defend Colorado and other states from further pressure or punishment unless they give up their constitutional authority over elections. Who pays for all this bullshit lawsuits stuff? Like being in a legal situation right now, I know how expensive lawyers can be, and it's not cheap, and it's ridiculous. So is American tax dollars paying for all these BS legal shenanigans that the left is pulling too every time the states sue? Are we paying for that? I mean, we're paying for Trump's DOJ for sure to defend themselves. There's got to be a better way for, I mean, the legal system itself is so broken already. Again, just like going through what I'm going through right now, it's so ridiculous that I'm even in the situation in the first place, that it was even allowed to be a situation. But the fact that it's like, there's so many things that are wrong with it. A lot of the times it just feels like it's a MLM. It's a multi-level marketing scheme for the judges and the attorneys to all make their moolah. And there's got to be a better way where the frivolous stuff can't be financially damaging to people. Like the fact that anybody can sue anybody in this country is insane in the first place. I mean, I get it, but there's got to be more like stern financial ramifications for the frivolous things that happen. And it's not always that the judges are going to award people, when they do catch on to it, but you can't trust the judicial system. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I'm kind of going on a tangent right now. Anyway, let's keep going here. Treasury Department announces a new Series 1 bond rate of 4.03% for the next 6 months. Woohoo. Already did that story. This, I don't know if I believe this, but let me pull it up and read it anyway. Oh, great. I'm not a subscriber. Hold on. Gotta archive it. Exclusive. Russia uses missile in Ukraine that led Trump to quit nuclear treaty, according to Kyiv. Is Kyiv a person? Is it the collective of people saying that? Like who's saying that? Is that a newspaper organization, news article? Isn't that a city? It's a capital of the most populous city in Ukraine. So it's just the city itself is saying this. People that what a stupid. Already, I hate this article, but I'm going to read a little bit anyway. Russia has in recent months attacked Ukraine with a cruise missile whose secret development prompted Donald Trump to abandon a nuclear arms control pact with Moscow in his first term as U.S. president. Ukraine's foreign minister said, why didn't they say that and not just Kyiv? Andriy Sybiha and his comments are the first confirmation that Russia used the ground-launched N9M729 missile in combat. It has fired the missile at Ukraine 23 times since August, the second senior Ukrainian official told Reuters. Ukraine also recorded 2 launches in 2022, and apparently it led them to quit the treaty. Washington said the missile was in breach of a treaty and could fly far beyond its limit of 310 miles, although Russia denied it. The missile, which can carry a nuclear or conventional warhead, has ranged 2,500 kilometers. I have no idea what that means in terms of miles. If 500 is 310 miles, 2,500 is what? Well, yes, I can do the math here. Okay, so almost 1,550 miles or so. That's a lot of miles. Anyway, I don't know if I believe that story. Something else going on there around the missile treaty thing, the nuclear threats that Trump is talking about. Which nuclear option is he referring to? Is he talking about the filibuster? Or is he talking about nuclear warhead testing? There's this interesting story out in Politico. I haven't even had a chance to read through it, though. I was going to save it for tomorrow, but just so you guys see it, and I'll post in the chat. Are they flipping on Zelensky? Laying some groundwork for a removal of him? The dark side of Zelensky's rule. Opposition lawmakers and civil society activists say Ukraine's leadership is using lawfare to intimidate opponents and silence critics. As Russia began its full-scale invasion of Ukraine nearly 4 years ago, Volodymyr Kurditsky, the head of Ukraine's state-owned national power company, Ukrenergo, was scrambling to keep the lights on. I'm so bad at pronouncing foreign names. So I apologize. I'm not trying to offend any Ukrainians. Maybe I am. I am trying to offend you guys. Somehow he succeeded and continued to do every year, earning the respect of energy executives worldwide by ensuring the country was able to withstand Russian missile, blah, blah, blah. I want to find the part about Zelensky. At the time, he told he was the victim of the relentless centralization of authority that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, his powerful head of office, Andriy Yermak, often pursue. He said he feared corrupt individuals would end up taking over the state-owned company. This is kind of crazy. We were told if we don't put the Ukrainian flag in our Facebook profile pictures, that the world would implode under Russian rule. Zelensky was the last hope. He was single-handedly standing in the way of Russia taking over basically the galaxy. Zelensky was the guardian of the galaxy. And now they're kind of turning on him. Opposition lawmakers and civil society activists are up in arms, labeling this another example of Ukraine's leadership using lawfare to intimidate opponents and silence critics by accusing them of corruption or of collaboration with Russia. Poroshenko has since accused Zelensky of creeping authoritarianism. Well, yeah, anytime regardless of your elections being fake, you can't even pretend to be democratically elected if you don't hold the election part. So, of course. Crazy. I'm going to read through this. We'll probably talk about it tomorrow, but I think it's notable. They're kind of like turning on him. Anyway, let's see if I got anything else. I know we're close to the end here. Oh, this is funny. Penn got hacked. University of Pennsylvania. Dear Penn community, the University of Pennsylvania is a dogshit elitist institution full of woke retards. We have terrible security practices and are completely unmeritocratic. We hire and admit morons because we love legacies, donors, and unqualified affirmative action admits. We love breaking federal laws like FERPA, all your data will be leaked, and Supreme Court rulings like SFFA. Please stop giving us money. Warm regards, the University of Pennsylvania. And this is coming from their development office. So funny. Oh, great hack. And then last thing here, Trump reacts to headlines of imminent land attack. No strikes on Venezuela. It took a few mere hours for President Trump to react to headlines from early this morning, declaring U.S. strikes on Venezuela possibly days away. Tucker Carlson did an interview with Colonel McGregor, and it was actually a really good interview. I don't watch Tucker religiously or regularly or whatever, but what I do watch, it's always like an interview. Like he'll start the interview almost immediately. They'll show a clip of like a middle part of the interview, and then they'll just jump right into it. But this was more like a old school Tucker monologue, almost like a news show, like what he used to do on Fox. And he just talked about Venezuela and why we're actually going there. And he brings on McGregor later. It was good. I liked it. I'm not trying to, like, I don't know if I trust Tucker. I'm not trying to say that or anything. I like the content. It's stuff we've been talking about at Badlands for a while, which makes me wonder why now and why at all. I mean, I'm glad he did it though. I think you should all go watch that interview. It's really good. All the points he made are basically what Chris has made on Saturday Power Hours for going back to when we first did that, the report that we went over about Venezuela. I think Chris is over the target. But yeah, Trump is denying. He said there's gonna be no strikes in Venezuela. We are gonna do some nuclear testing, and we'll find out very soon. Yeah. So anyway, go check out that interview. And other than that, guys, I think that is everything. I see no more rants here. I am going to send you guys over to Ghost Show. He's live right now, or going live here in like 4 minutes. But before we do that, we're going to get a quick word from softdisclosure.com. Then you guys will, I'll send you over there. We'll rate his show. Hit that thumbs up. Do me that favor. And then I will see you guys tonight on Onlylands, the Halloween edition of Onlylands. Should be a good time. And then I'll be back again tomorrow on the Power Hour with Chris Paul at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. So stick around, Badlands, guys. We appreciate you. Get yourself some soft disclosure. Hit that thumbs up, and I will see you later this evening.
Before skincare went synthetic, people used something simple, something real. Tallow. Grass-fed and finished beef tallow is packed with vitamins A, D, E, and K. Nutrients your skin actually knows what to do with. It locks in moisture, restores elasticity, and defends against winter dryness. No water, no preservatives, and no BS. Unlike plant oils or chemical creams, tallow mimics your skin's own structure. Elbows, hands, knees, post-shave, anywhere your skin's crying for real moisture. Perfect for gifting or keeping your own skin soft when the cold hits. Visit softdisclosure.com and use promo code Badlands for 15% off. Ancient care, modern truth.
Soft disclosure.
Extra, extra, read all about it. 2, 3. Let's get started.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's real good.
Why they stopping me? Stopping me.